Alrighty guys, so I'm going to show you how we're going to be editing our photos that we took in class. So what you're going to need is you're going to need your web browser and you're going to go to pixlr.com. That is Pixlr.com, and it's going to pull up a screen that looks something like this. Now when here there's going to be two options, Pixlr X and Pixlr E. We want to choose Pixlr X. Pixlr E has a lot more advanced options that we don't need. All we need is going to be in the X. So make sure you choose this one on the left-hand side. It's going to show up an image that looks like this, and it's going to remind you you're on Pixlr X because it will say it right here. We are going to open an image. When you open the image, it's going to pull up your screen here. You need to look and find your picture that you should have saved on your computer. When you find it, you click on it and you open it, and it will show up on your screen just like this. This is my picture. If your picture shows up as rotated, we can fix that later. For now, what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to where it says adjust and filter, and it's this on the left hand side. It has the two sliding bars. It's right underneath the scissors here. We're going to click on that. At the very top here, it has three buttons that say auto, black and white, and pop. We want to select black and white, and that's going to turn our photo into the black and white photo. We're going to go down here to where it says light, right underneath of color, and we're going to click on that. And that's going to show us a bunch of options of brightness, exposure, contrast, and this is what we're going to use to change up our picture and kind of create more of that dynamic lighting that we're looking for. So we're looking to create images that are in the chiaroscuro effect, remember? So that means we have very dark darks and very light lights, but you don't want to blast your photos. So if you have a photo that, let's see, looks like this is a little too far. So that's too white of white, too dark of dark. We need tonal differences. So really play around and try and create an effect that is interesting to look at and is not too dark. So you just play around with that for a little bit. And if you need to take a few extra minutes to figure out your picture, then you can go ahead. You can pause this, and I'm going to go ahead and move on. So when you finish with this, you're going to hit this button right here at the bottom of the list that says apply, and all of your changes are going to be saved. Now we're going to head back over to the left-hand side here, and right above the scissors, there's a square shape that says crop and rotate. We're going to click on that. Now, if your picture is rotated like mine is, now would be the time to fix it by selecting the rotate option. You would either have to select left or right. Mine needs to go to the left, and it will put it in this position. Next, you need to go to right below it where it says select aspect. You need to click on that. This is really important that you select this because it's going to create a frame that is going to stay, and we need this frame to stay here in the same shape. We're going to go down to presets, and this drop down menu, it's going to have an option that says 5.4. We want to select that. That is going to give us the size of how we're going to print our pictures. Now, we can have our pictures at what is called landscape, and that means our pictures are side to side. All of you should have landscape photos based off of the way they were taken. If you would rather your picture being portrait, which means it is taller than it is wide, then you're going to need to go down to the width and the height and change out these numbers. So instead of a 5 here, we'd put a 4, and instead of a 4, we'd put the 5. And that's going to change it into this portrait appearance. And now we have to figure out how to place our photo within our cropped image. So you can take it and you can shrink and expand the borders of it as much as you want. Now notice when I am moving the borders, there are lines that have shown up on the inside. These lines are part of what is called the rule of thirds, and we want to use that to help create a more interesting composition. So using the rule of thirds, we're going to try and line up some sort of interest with one of the corners of the rule of thirds. So it could be your face, it could be a part of the mirror. Try and find the most interesting part that you possibly can. Maybe it's my nose here. Just figure out the best way that you can to make sure your composition is interestingly placed. And then when you are happy with how it looks, you're going to again hit apply. You're going to see it shrinks down the size of your image so you can see it a lot better. If you're happy with how this composition looks, then you're just going to hit save, save as, and then you're going to make sure that it is saved as your name. So I'm going to put my name here, and then save it as a JPEG image onto your computer. After you do that, you just need to email it to Miss G's email account, and then we'll print it out and we'll have it ready for you for the next activity.